Kia has been throwing darts at nearly every viable segment in India's automotive market, save for the hatchbacks of course. And most of them have hit the bullseye. With the new Carens Clavis EV, it's taking a sharper aim at family buyers who want the practicality of an MPV without the looming spectre of diesel bans or fuel price inflation. But the question really is, can a compact electric MPV like this do the double duty of being a comfortable highway cruiser and also be the sensible urban family carrier while providing the kind of range that you expect from this body style? In the Koreans' EV roadmap, the hardware here won't surprise you. The Clavis EV borrows heavily from the Hyundai Creta EV. Same motor, same battery pack with a few tweaks to the battery management system to suit the different weight and the use case. It also means it's a healthy blend of performance and efficiency. It's still front-wheel driven, it's still smooth, it's still very silent, and it's got that instantaneous torque off the line like you'd expect from an EV. But more importantly, it's all about how the Clavis EV behaves when it's on the move. It is exactly what you want in a car like this. Not thrilling, but always smooth and responsive. There's a healthy amount of power and torque on offer, enough to keep up with the traffic, overtake with confidence, and handle a full house without feeling sluggish. It's not going to pin you back in your seat when you press the throttle, but there is still instantaneous torque. There is still enough torque to surprise you of how this compact 3-row people mover can behave on the road. Put your foot down and the power is delivered cleanly, especially in sport mode, where throttle response becomes noticeably sharper. Eco mode, as you would expect, dials things back and is best saved for urban errands. The normal mode strikes the most balanced tune, and that is where you will spend most of your time driving. Where the Clavis EV really shines is in how composed it feels. For a tall 3-row MPV, body roll is surprisingly well contained. And a big credit for that goes to the floor-mounted battery pack. The batteries in the floor keep the center of gravity low, and that keeps the car planted when you are driving around bends or even when you are making lane changes, etc. And that also keeps the occupants safely planted as well, especially the ones who battle motion sickness. So travel-hating kids, senior citizens, people with motion sickness, they're all going to secretly thank Kia for it. Ride quality is well judged. There's enough firmness to keep the body in check over bad roads, but not enough to get crashy or uncomfortable. It still irons out speed bumps and rough patches like any good family car should. The steering is conveniently light in most of the driving scenarios. It does weigh up a little bit when you're at highway speeds. It's enough to give you a predictable performance. It's not extremely talkative, it's not extremely communicative, but you're not going to be attacking corners with an MPV like this, and Kia knows that, and that is exactly how the steering has been tuned. Braking is progressive, and the regen system offers multiple levels, letting you adjust how aggressively the car slows down when you lift off. It's not just the electric motors, even the ground clearance has gone up, which is difficult to do with a ICE vehicle that has been modified into an EV. We saw that with the Creta as well. Here also the ground clearance goes up by 5 millimeters, 200 mm total. It does have a bit of an implication in the floor or how you're sitting in the second or the third row. You sit in a bit of a knees up position. So if you're long-legged or fussy about under-thigh support, that is the only complaint that you'll have, but it's not a deal breaker at all. In fact, the space is really good for your feet. Knee room is quite good. Headroom is also excellent. View outside of the windows, whether you are a kid or an adult, excellent again. You also get this blind to get some privacy if you so need. And now because of the panoramic roof with the AC vents having moved to the outside, you get this nice airy feel in here. So long distance journeys, absolutely no problem at all. This is a comfortable place to be in. The third row is good enough only for kids. And that's the reason why I did not attempt getting in there. But if you must see me in the third row, do check out our reels on Instagram. Compared to the ICE-powered Clavis, the EV variant brings in a reworked center console with better storage solutions, acknowledging that MPVs are all about clever practicality. Now at the front, to again give it the distinction and a bit of that forward-thinking attitude, they've also added these active flaps. So every time you start the car, you see that they open. So this is essentially to improve the overall cooling efficiency while also maintaining that EV look. So when your car is turned off, they will again close off, prevent rodents from entering, messing up with those high tension wires, etc. And while you're on the move, they'll open and they will aid with the cooling, the aerodynamic efficiency, all those kind of things. There's also an engineered exterior sound that plays at low speeds, so the Clavis doesn't sneak up silently on unsuspecting pedestrians or two-wheeler riders. It's subtle but necessary, especially in urban traffic. Now to go nitpicking. The seats do not have load cells in them, neither for the second row nor for the third. What that means is, it cannot really detect that there is weight on the seat or someone is seated there. And if they don't wear the seat belt, the car is not going to know. It's not going to give you those audible warnings. However, if you have buckled your seat belt and then you remove it while you are driving, that is when it will give you a warning sign. One on the dashboard for the driver's seat belt and one on the little light that you see on top. But it's essentially Kia just skimping out a little bit, not putting that load cell. I'm not happy at this price point. Load cells definitely should have been integrated. We also talked about the slightly knees up position, right? Now Kia loves to give us air filtration systems in their cars, which is a big plus, especially if you are from Delhi. Here, however, they have integrated it at the back of the seat, and with the slightly more knees up position for my height of 5 feet 8, every time I want to get out, my knee hits the air filter and it can get a bit painful. And now for the sticker shock. Rupees 24.49 lakh for the top-end Clavis EV. It's a lot of money for a compact MPV. More importantly, it puts it in dangerous territory, Innova Krista territory. And that's not a comparison you want to have unless you're bringing something really special to the table. Fortunately, the Clavis EV does. It's a lot more car-like to drive compared to the body-on-frame Innova Krista, especially if you're upgrading from a smaller car. This one is going to feel a lot friendlier, a lot easier to drive. It's also got the better cosmopolitan appeal given its features, given all the tech that it packs in. Sure, a lot of those features were sort of held back from the Clavis diesel top-end, and now it makes sense. It was all being reserved for the EV to make this the sweeter deal. And looks like mission accomplished. And if you stay in states like Maharashtra, which incentivize buying an EV, you could actually end up paying lesser on-road price for the car than the ex-showroom price. Now that doesn't happen often, does it? Of course, there is the classic EV question. Can it road trip? Looking at what we've achieved with the Creta EV, I think 300 to 350 kilometers of real-world range should be easily achievable even with the Kia. Something like Bengaluru to Chennai, you may not need a stop at all. You will be able to get there. You will be able to reach Chennai with at least a little bit of charge still left in the batteries. Delhi to Chandigarh, you will need maybe one stop somewhere in between. Mumbai to Goa, you'll probably be on a two-stop strategy. So you will have to plan a little bit better. Maybe your favorite dhabas, your favorite joints, they may not have a charging station yet or a charging station fast enough yet for you to have a quick top-up and continue. But Kia, Hyundai, they are rapidly expanding their fast charging network. So you should be fine. I don't think there'll be too much planning involved. I think the only planning that you really need to do is exactly where do you need to take those breaks to ensure that you get the food that you want and the top-up fast enough for your car. That said, Kia and Hyundai's fast charging network is expanding quickly, and most highway routes should be manageable with a little bit of planning. It won't be as carefree as a diesel tank up, but it will also not cost you Rs 6,000 to fill up. This car is not trying to be the next Innova Krista. In fact, it can't even do that with the kind of space it offers. But compared to the Krista, it offers a much friendlier, easier driving experience, especially inside of the city. It's also a lot more feature-rich, just the way its ICE counterpart is. This one just happens to run on electrons, which means it is smoother still, it is quieter still. Sure, it's not cheap, but with the EV subsidies, with the lower running costs, with the lower emissions, with that all-rounded package that it is, it all starts to make sense. It all starts to show value. And that's very important for our value-conscious market. What I appreciate even more is that the Clavis EV doesn't try to reinvent anything. It feels just as natural as its ICE counterpart, and there is no steep learning curve to understand the controls or how to drive this EV. Everything feels natural and therefore simple, and hence more accommodating to a larger audience. If your idea of a family car is shifting towards something cleaner, future-proof and easier to live with, the Clavis EV is ready to plug in to your lifestyle.